T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I shat. You can find him on the ground or the wall. I shat. He can be short or tall. I can walk, I can jump, I can skip down the street, but I know that he'll stay at the end of my feet. Each sunny, dark, or cloudy day, my shadow's always there to play.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on My Shadow, episode
Yay.
18.
Hey
Rising
now.
from is to smash Stuttering John. We've got QWERTY and Cup of Discords, and of course me, Susie Q. Go ahead, Cup.
Thank you. Episode 18, Rising from the Ashes. Welcome to the My Shadow stream. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and donate. The preferred way of donating used to be Vodka, but now it's Streamlabs. And please come join us on our Discord, which is Robin's News and Disgruntled Stern fans. So let's get right to it. Let's get to the weekly roundup of who's been banned. We might have a guest coming on a little bit later. Perhaps Beefy Bitcoin, who has his own unique stories, but we always do. It's been 2 weeks since we've been on. We had our summer Stern vacation. He's back, and so are we.
Yep. Hope you guys missed us.
So I donated the other night, and I still don't have a wrench.
Well, you had a wrench. It's a bigger story than that.
Well, that was taken away.
Okay, so it was taken away. You redonated, and by wrench, we mean the ability to moderate the stream or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, which I don't get into any of that shit. I don't want any of that drama. But the problem is, when you get banned from Discord, you can't call in. And it's becoming a problem.
Yeah.
Yes. You leave the Discord or you get kicked from the Discord, which is freaking weird for like when you do nothing.
And once again, this is the wrap-up show, fan show, whatever you would call it. QWERTY, I think, gave up a couple of weeks ago, if not months, of trying to get back into the Discord or the fold. And all I can say is it's sort of mayhem. The executive producer's taken over a lot of the show. Can we say that?
Yes, absolutely.
It seems that way. Yeah, it seems like couple you have your own stories that I'm really interested to hear about what happened to you behind the scenes.
Actually, nothing. As we always can say, nothing changes in our attitude or how we, carry ourselves. But you never know in the unique universe what's gonna get you banned. So I actually am in the unique Discord. I don't think either of you. I think both of you have been kicked, right?
Yeah, we're in the band club. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I left, and I only return if I'm gonna call in.
Well, that's a problem.
And it's dismal. There's nothing going on in there, which is kind of sad because it was fun in there before.
Well,
so
it's sort of becoming a problem because I like to call in.
Mm-hmm.
I love typing. I love the responses, but he really likes people to call in, and I'm getting more comfortable with it, but it's getting harder.
Yeah, it is. Especially if he's overserved and he's not paying attention.
Yeah, we're going to cover a lot of
You know?
that. As we said, this is sort of the rise from the ashes to smash. And we did a whole show on like what the schedule change mean. Was it good if it went earlier? And what does it mean for everything? Is this getting, the sleepy juice going to carry longer, shorter, whatever? And over the past 2 weeks, I think that we've learned some lessons that we're going to try to communicate.
Yeah, a few nights ago, he was, his head was fully down on the desk, and the
Yeah.
bill of his cap was pointing up, and he was like that for a while until, I guess.
So to wrap up the Who Is band, there's a new thing that when we're chatting, we're getting timed out a lot. And what does that mean, Susie Q, to be timed out?
You have to wait 500 seconds, 300 seconds before you can post again.
Yeah, and I'm actually getting timed out for what I think is innocuous things. Clarity, do you get timed out?
No, I think they haven't been. Des used to respond to me in the chat. I haven't gotten any responses back at all. I might be blocked or something. I'm not sure.
There's also trolls. That doesn't help you guys.
I think Susie, you definitely have an impersonator in the chat.
Yeah,
I have one too.
I don't know who it is. Oh,
I think we know.
It's so good.
Kind of tricky, and sometimes, admittedly, I do say shitty things because I have emotions, and so they come out sometimes.
I have emotions. Well, you better develop a thick skin because you better know what pool you're swimming around in.
Yeah. No, that's true. And so, so I do get timed out for stuff I say, and of course stuff the troll says.
I'd like to start the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I was gonna say. By the way, Susie, if you could put a link to our Discord in the chat.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Let me do that.
While we're talking about being banned.
I would like to start sort of the Ashes part. Do you guys remember the Jake Paul fight, the pay-per-view fight that he broadcasted? It started on a Sunday night. It was oddly, these pay-per-views, are Sunday night. They start at 8, but for Kyle's schedule, they sort of go late. Query, were you watching the Jake Paul fight night?
I watched bits and pieces of it. It wasn't entirely It wasn't as interesting as the previous fights that I've watched on Kyle's Discord. But
he really rises to the challenge when he has pay-per-views. But I was wondering about this switch to earlier if he would be able to stay up to like 11 o'clock.
Sorry about
because I think I'd like to watch NFL games and him do that stuff. But most of the stuff on the East Coast, it doesn't start until a little bit later. And so can he stay up? What time did he end tonight? 9:30?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of the times he's, a little bit sleepy juiced by 9:30, and I'm wondering how he can get through these pay-per-views or NFL games. We're going to play some clips of that. But the Jake Paul fight, it started around 8, and I said, oh my God, he's going to have to vamp for 3.5, 4 hours until the actual fight. Is this going to happen? And so there was like, who knows, maybe 1,000 people in there. He gets to the main fight at about 11:30. I call in, and which was pretty scary to hear. 1,000 people are listening to you, and he's doing okay. We're going through the final fight. We get to the walk in and all that stuff. And at round 2, he starts getting dicey. And I'm trying to carry him for the rest. I figured, oh shit, this is gonna 8 rounds. He made it through halfway through the 3rd round. Said, I'm done. And 1,000 people went on tilt. Absolute tilt. His whole explanation the next day was it went too late. So I was kind of wondering if this is going to be were you watching CZQ?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of people were.
Night, but I was out, and I don't know how he does it. How he did it that night. Other times, what he does is he'll come on and he'll entertain us for a while, and then he'll get tired or whatever. He'll take a break, probably go eat or something, and he lets the fight kind of play, and then he'll come back and hang out with us.
Yeah, he had some energy food, and he ordered during, and I was hoping that it would soak up a lot of the sleepy juice, but it didn't.
I actually agree with Kyle's right about these damn fights. I mean, they just go on and on with this incessant whatever undercars that nobody's interested in, and it's just like, come on, you know what I mean? Especially for you East Coast people, it's ridiculous.
And on a Sunday, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree.
I was thinking, how is he going to make? Because how long do his streams go? An hour and a half, maybe 2.25. This is 3.5 just to get to the main card. I was kind of worried what would happen, and we sort of found out what would happen. So that's sort of the theme we're gonna play. We have clips galore. We're gonna leave it up to Susie Q's discretion of where we go, but I think I kind of have this theory that things were slowing down and the nights were getting earlier and earlier. And I don't know.
This is what it's starting to sound like, even kind of early in the show.
Doesn't never show a wink. I said, Des, can you throw another beer in the fridge? She's like, what's that thing going on with your eye? Yes, stupid, but another beer in the thing. I guess they won't talk to me online, but I'm going to be playing this. Getting off and you didn't drink any. I was trying to help you out, stupid.
You're gonna hear a lot of anger, and you have to decipher.
He was explaining that he winked at Des when he asked that she put a beer in the fridge. He's trying to help her out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of miscommunication about, let's say, food and delivery. It happens every single night. Communication about shots, and it seems to be mostly what the stream is taken up with at this point.
Huge problem. He says they won't talk to him online, so he has to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And this is how he explained it more intelligibly.
Doesn't never show a wink. I said, Des, can you throw another? I winked at her and she said, what's wrong with your eye?
That was what happened. Poor little. They're so silly. It makes me giggle.
So the communications, mostly what takes up the last third of what we call Act 3, is mostly if the food's coming, how it's gotten there, things like that. And we're kind of in like a circular rut, if you will. But we will make the point that Kyle's a gamer and he rises to the occasion.
Did you know that he likes Mr. Ed?
No. How he does?
What about you, Purdy? Has this never come up, like Nick at Night, stuff like that?
He likes Mr. Ed. You mean that old school TV show about the horse?
Yes.
What does
prove it?
I never heard. I never heard him say that.
I don't think he does. Why don't you prove it to us?
Here we go.
Mr. Ed.
Beth Stern?
A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Ed was a dope show. You ever watch that back in the day? Remember when they used to have Nick at Night? I dug that show.
Ed, go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety yak a streak and waste your time a day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk till his voice is hoarse. You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this. I am Mr. Ed.
Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Take your vaccines. Fauci loves you. We'll be right back with a...
It was complete insanity.
That's
I was hoping you would
shocking to
sing.
me.
I was hoping he would sing.
Oh, his dancing wasn't enough for you? His shaking his head.
That's
Now,
actually
some-
shocking.
Been watching
What-
it.
When he gets into the groove, he will sing, and it's fantastic every single time. I think that was
could
too
not
early
believe
in the
he played
show.
so much of it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you serious? This
Yeah,
is going on for a minute plus."
It's the same thing, I think, when he plays Sam Tripoli. This is going on for 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
So back to the Jake Paul fight. I was really, and I've been trying to convince him that he should play NFL games and comment on them. This, because he likes the Bucks and Brady. And that's really, Brady, would you agree that's really what when he's at his peak? When he's like playing a pay-per-view, he's hype, he's jumping up and down, a Super Bowl or anything. That's when he's on his game, I think.
I would definitely say so. He's on live when whatever the main event is. He's out. He has his wits about him when the main event is on.
Yeah,
Other than
and
that, yeah.
we can all joke, but he's providing. This is not cheap to pay this shit. Usually it's $60. He's playing the whole stream the best he can. He dropped out on the Paul fight, but he really does have a fun pay-per-view experience that I'm trying to get him to do for NFL games.
Yeah, I agree.
Tonight he floated the possibility that he's going to pay for the whatever fight Trump is going to call or whatever.
Oh, that looks interesting to me. I would pay for that for sure.
Yeah, I recommended that to him when it was announced that Trump would be sitting in on. I don't even know what the broadcast is, but it would be great fun.
Yeah, I think a good idea for Kyle if he's listening, or maybe somebody can pass this on to him. I think what he did with the Paul fight was great, where he had it play for whoever wanted to watch it in the Discord, but then he was narrating or commenting on YouTube live.
Yeah, he's got a system down. He actually let me come on to co-host with him during them, but I just couldn't carry it for too long because, it was a long night for him. He had been vamping for 3 hours. It's not easy to do.
Yeah. That's a long damn time.
So
that's a full length show.
Yeah. Stern's back from vacation. We're back from our week vacation.
Did you hear?
Stern's back from another vacation.
Did you guys hear at the beginning of that Mr. Ed clip? Kyle made a Beth reference.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he got his knock, and he goes, "Oh, Beth."
Oh,
my God!
I think he listens and pays more attention to Stern than he lets on. Now, no one gives a shit about Stern anymore. No one thought that his terrible show was going to be different, but it was an event to see how Howard would handle the criticism being 2 months off. I didn't listen to the actual show, but I listened to Radio Gunk cover it, and I watched I read through the Quite Frankly daily thread. So I'm aware of the bullshit that he pulled when he got back. It's the same old thing. I deserve the time off. I've worked this hard. Kids get the summer off. Why shouldn't I? And then a show that looked like he prepared the night before at best.
That was his reasoning. Kids get the summer off. Why shouldn't I?
That was one of his actual lines. He addressed it for about 40 minutes when he opened the show of, wow, boy, everybody seemed really upset, but I deserve this, and thrown out a lot of things of, what I've done. And, kids get the summer off. Why shouldn't I? Guys behind two paywalls. Yeah.
No, I want to make a quick admit. I was listening through Stern through my college years, and his work ethic back then, in the early 2000s, inspired me to keep going. That's how. Yeah, I don't know if it did anything for you guys.
Yeah, the 90s.
To hear him say that is ridiculous now. Yeah,
right. It was. It's the flip is he's doing the show from his beach house. That's what it is. I know he has a basement there and it's huge, but he's sitting on the beach complaining about doing a show 3 days a week. That's the bottom line. What's going on?
Basically, a glorified Opie live stream.
Oh, I can't stand that. I accidentally clicked on something the other day, and somebody on his pathetic live stream gave him $15. He laughed and said, That'll help me pay my $1,300 air conditioning bill. I swear, I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
It's just such a mockery, and it's just like, I'm rich. You're not. Give me
Yeah.
$15. I'll throw it towards my air conditioning bill.
And why doesn't he put on a better quality show? I mean, I don't understand. Like,
I think he's one of those guys that needs a system around him. Isolated, he's just not interesting. Especially, how the fuck old is he? 60 years old? What's
Yeah.
his goddamn hot takes on the world? I don't. From the Hamptons Beach.
Yeah, exactly. That would be interesting. Anthony built a little bit of a following, just having opinions about stuff. The guy just responds to the chat all day.
Yeah, that's all he does is read his whatever, the chat, and go, thanks for the $7. And who would be that low in life to give Opie cash while he's walking up and down his Hamptons Beach? Anyway, the whole universe is screwed up. We're going to get to Stuttering John a little bit, but everybody in the derivative universe is really busted and very old at this point.
Yeah, I think they're a little not played out. I think they're over it in a way. I don't know. I can't
what are they
put
trying
my
to
finger
recreate?
on what happened to. I don't know what the hell happened to these guys. Like, they seem like the same people, just not into quality, funny, entertaining radio anymore.
I think there's a time and place for the situation of radio, and then it passes. And it comes and goes. And we don't think that because we're Stern fans and this shit is going on forever and ever and ever, getting drilled into the ground. But a lot of people just think, well, if this guy wasn't fired and that guy, and we put this combination back together, we can have the old O&A. Well, these guys are 60 years old.
Yeah.
You guys, Two Master asked, do you think Howard pre-recorded the show, or he pre-recorded the show? Radio Gunk keeps saying that he does.
I didn't listen to the actual show, but I heard a compelling case that the Ronnie segment was taped because Robin actually said something about the end of August, and that was a tell. Obviously, it's not the end of August, but there's mounting evidence that he's doing pre-recorded things. He's sitting, Sirius has an obligation to have a live show. He can't have it all pre-recorded. He's actually sitting there, but large segments appear to be pre-recorded, and that shit's unacceptable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He's been doing that for a while now, and it's seamless. So you really have to listen. It's I feel like it's purposely made to feel seamless, so
deceptive.
You won't know.
It's deceptive.
Exactly.
What did you guys hear about Ronnie and his trying to get a meeting with Howard this week? I heard something about that. Either of you know anything about that?
Yeah, apparently this was on the first show where Ronnie was coming back to New York and tie up loose ends, set aside an entire day and said, Howard, if you can see me, I'd like to come see you. He's never going to see Howard or any of those people again in his life. So I've set out an entire day. I know you have your issues, but could I see you one more time? And Howard straight out said, no, it's COVID. You're not coming over. Part two of the story, Ronnie actually confronts him on air and said, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel over to your house, his wife and the kids. What are you talking about? Were they tested? And apparently he threw back, yes, we all sat around and get tested immediately. But, that's Howard's an elitist. He's an absolute elitist. He doesn't think of Ronnie as a friend, as somebody who's been with him for 30 years.
That many years.
Held doors for you for 30 years. Listen to all your fucking
I
gripes.
get it, but come on. I mean,
and then in the end,
countless hours of making your show content.
4 in the morning.
TV said they never mention any current events, and so he certainly didn't mention Afghanistan, right? Yesterday,
that's embarrassment, because everything with his busted mind, his predictions, his take on the world are all wrong. So he doesn't want to confront that. But he's a shut-in. He's a shut-in, Elda Caca or whatever he would call himself.
Yeah, he's
and
too
his
afraid.
Rants are like, two old Jews at the deli, talking about the world events.
He's too afraid of upsetting his super upper class liberal friends that really don't give a shit about him. Never did, never will. He thinks he's under the impression that they care, that they like him.
Yeah. Or that if he virtual signals, he's going to be deep in the club. Howard, they don't care.
No, they don't.
So that was atrocious. His comeback, we all knew it would be. Nothing changed. It's only going to get worse. And there's no way it's going to make 3.5 more years. No way. We have another clip, Susie.
Sorry. Yes. CB said 2 Jews hanging out at the Bellagio pool.
That is really sad that he will not see Ron. That's everybody could have predicted that. Yeah, everybody could have predicted that. I don't know why Ronnie is under the impression that Howard would ever see him again. Anybody who leaves the show,
mad to hear that Ronnie is still on the show. I guess on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
I mean, he eats shit and then and still stays on. That's fucking ridiculous.
I believe that Ronnie was clearing his conscience. He knew he'll never see Howard again, but he knew he set out that day. Howard, if you can let me over, I will. And then Howard just flatly turned him down.
I hear you, but what a punch in the face. Like, still you can work. I guess that's like Howard's, like he says, just keep making that money, I guess.
How much money does he need? It's just numbers in an account.
Exactly.
Yep.
Why doesn't he just be a good guy?
I hope everybody on the staff on the show knows that. I mean, let's get some leaks out there. He doesn't give a shit about you guys. He doesn't care. I'm telling you, he doesn't care. Yeah.
I think he purposely wants to get fired at this point and sit home and collect a check. But we're all Stern fans. It was. Yes, of course he does. He wants to push it so far that you said, Howard, that Jen Witz in SiriusXM just says it's better to have him off the air and keep paying him. Now they're not going to do that because they don't need to do that. It's
lame, lazy.
It's lame.
Whatever. It's so.
And why are we caught in the middle of this? About
mandates for. Is he crazy? He hasn't left his house. People are out and about.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably boring people with old cocky, but his view on the world is tragic, and everybody knew coming back 2 weeks later it was going to be no different, no effort in the show, and the same old bullshit, picking his staff apart, not talking about his own personal life, and I hate him, basically.
What was this they were doing? Apparently Chris Wilding's stories were discussed.
Oh, I don't know. The only thing he's comfortable with is sort of like his Wilding and his gay antics and his Wilding whatever he feels safe, and goofing on staff and marginalizing everybody who's not in the elite class.
Coach Clearfloss had breaking news this week. You guys want to hear that?
Yep. Let's hear it.
Former sponsor of the sports betting website is facing bankruptcy and kind of. Thank God they are, those cocksuckers. I appreciated the $500 to promote them for a month, but they were very pissed, by the way, that I only did it during my live streams and not during my videos. They were very pissed. I told them nobody will buy ad space on my videos. I wouldn't ruin my videos that way. And when I see the big YouTubers do it, it bizarres me out. Like even the quartering does that shit from time to time. I'm like, what are you doing? Niggas are very greedy. We make enough money doing this. You don't gotta ruin your video, Mr. 800,000 subs, by doing a minute ad.
That was his explanation of his one and only sponsor that he circled back to. We had asked him about, hey, anything break over there? We asked him about the system. I actually asked him when I called him what happened to his sponsor. And this is supposedly the explanation. It seems like free money. I don't know why he just didn't abide by the rules, but that's our unique. He goes in his own direction. I don't know.
He was just letting you know facts. they didn't like what he was doing. He's too punk for them, which I thought was really cool. He's not gonna sell space on his React videos.
I would think that when you
Turning away
pin
money
down
is what I'm
Unique,
saying. He's got it like that.
I would think that when you pin down Unique as your marketing strategy, you would know it comes with the package. You wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know if they're up anymore. I would love, maybe we can pull the reads he used to do. They used to crack me up. They weren't bad as Bill Burr, but they were kind of bizarre. It was interesting to hear him do his sales voice, and it didn't quite work.
This stream brought to you by Booking. Whatever the fuck it's called. Booking something. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Ah, forgot. Oh yeah, here. But he had so many things go. Like, at carts lined up and guests and all that. He just forgot about his sponsor.
Go to their website or whatever. Fucking click on some.
I really appreciated Coach Clearfloss with that, because we've asked a lot. What happened with that bookie, whatever. And so I'm glad he gave us.
What's the stupid name of the website again?
Oh, and I don't know if you guys heard this. So they figured out that these dollar donations aren't beefy.
Who's they?
Kyle and Des.
Okay.
And so, well, Kyle more than Des. It's still a point of contention in the chat between Beefy and her. But we'll get to that later. But this is what Kyle had to say about these dollar donations.
Nobody is gonna donate you. Hurry up and show the Jones clip. Fuck you, nigga. People donate all the time, mainly to insult Desiree, which I encourage.
That is not true.
And the Wolves have their marching orders. Sorry.
Because he turned the volume off on his donation alert. That Ted DiBiase, money, money, money. He turned it off for a while.
Yeah.
So that's a follow-up to our discussion with Beefy Bitcoin. That's actually not him. Those are other people.
Yeah. They know who it is. I don't have the clip. I don't see it. I'm sorry about this, but technical difficulties called in, and Kyle and
wait.
Had a little discussion.
You don't have that clip?
No, I thought I did, and I don't.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to, that's when he called in to smash, and that goes back to our rise from the ashes. I don't know, for whatever reason. That was an interesting night because that guy was bringing it hard, and it was him versus Kyle and his executive producer, and let's be honest, they were getting smashed. And I was like, oh man, is my man down for the count forever? He just didn't care about the guy.
As soon as technical difficulties got off the Discord, or I believe Kyle muted him or whatever, within 2 minutes Kyle was gone. It was such a shellacking. But the point of that particular clip was that Kyle did a Alex Jones impression. That's what we
I got to see this. And I'm glad you pulled this.
I don't know if Cordy has seen it, but you will now. Here you go.
Obviously, the New World Order. They want us all to be watching My Little Pony. Obviously, they even keep talking about ivermectin. They're coming out with a My Little Pony reboot, starring a trans, gay, ex-Muslim, ableist, transgender guy. And that's their new show. And they're just going to promote ivermectin during the whole thing. What the fuck is he babbling about?
What a killer impression. I thought it was Alex Jones. Next, Miss the Stern Show and puppets.
You guys listen to Alex Jones, by the way? Anybody listen to Alex Jones?
No, I don't even know where to listen to him. Does he have a website or something? No, I've never understood Alex Jones.
That
Here's the
clip
website.
that
It's info.com.
Oh, right.
It's
Infowars.com.
hilarious. I guess Kyle played it. What's his name? Alex Jones taking the ivermectin and turning into a horse. And then he was like, I'm not turning into a horse, I'm turning into a donkey. And then he started braying. He was all ee-yaw, ee-yaw. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Jones is a character.
That was a great bit. Yeah, that was a great bit.
He doesn't play Alex Jones for us. I don't know why. But what an impression. I mean, shit. It's like the real thing.
I need to ask Wendy if Alex Jones is a whackpacker.
What is the status of getting Wendy on my shadow?
0. I have been working that bitch for months. Like kindness, attention. I don't know what it is. She wants no part of this. I've sent her our resume, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know how Baba Booey does it. I don't know how he gets her on there, man. It's like talking to a wall. She doesn't
Maybe
get.
I
She goes,
should.
"Hey, why don't you come on our show? We're on almost every Wednesday." She goes, "Okay," and then that's it. And you never hear from her again. That's it.
Brutal retard master. Promise to come and never do.
All right, so something happened this week that was kind of funny. It happens from time to time. Kyle is in like the zone. He's giving you a hot take.
Yeah.
And and then this will happen.
Obviously, the New World Order
That's not it, you guys.
sucks. My grandma used to get diet serum.
Kyle is such a beta, he lets Des run his show. Des, you're morbidly obese and boring.
But my grandma used to get diet serum mist, and before they bend.
All right, I don't agree with that characterization of Des. I didn't hear that clip. I didn't approve it beforehand, and that's not us saying that.
The point is that lends to what we're going to talk about later with Beefy, about what's going on with him and Des.
Yeah,
but
I think the executive producer.
I like that he gets on a subject and lets it play. What a professional! And then he just picks up exactly where he left off. There's zero like inflection change or anything.
Yeah, stream of consciousness. But I think what the crowd is getting upset with is the executive producers taking over a lot of the show, shall we say?
Yes.
And access to the show. Yes. And he doesn't seem to understand what's happening, Len, because the issues of Act 3.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Birdie.
Birdie muted it.
I was on mute. Yeah. That's she has taken a more commanding role on the stream and behind.
Do you think this is good for the organization or has been detrimental?
I think they have the same mind. I don't know how to feel about that because I haven't been on the other side of that. If you get what I'm saying, I haven't been.
I agree.
Yeah.
In Act 3, it's tough to manage things.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why she decided to. What made her put it? What made her do that?
I saw somebody type in this past week, what would happen if Des wasn't there to executive produce? Mm-hmm. And I said to myself, well, probably a house fire.
Okay. Yeah. We've got Beefy Bitcoin joining us, you guys.
Excellent. Beefy.
Okay.
Hey, Beefy Bitcoin, how's it going?
What
Good.
up,
how are you? Hey, what's going on, Cordy?
Welcome.
Right. Yeah, we see the ceiling of a room.
Oh yeah.
Everyone, Beefy Bitcoin, one of the unique and our show's greatest benefactors, sticks in there, is with the program, is trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on, Beefy?
I mean, I thought I would interject in this part of the program because this is the part of what you're talking about now is what is really interesting me. What's happening to the show and why is it happening in the first place?
You told Kyle exactly what is happening.
See the face person at Dad, you are the Hitler of this chat.
He didn't know what else to say about
A little bit stunned by that.
Yeah, he was.
So basically, she's getting worse. I don't know exactly what she's doing or why she's getting worse. I think she likes it that she's got some cheerleaders in there. There's not many. I don't think a whole lot of people like her in there because she ruins the flow of the comments.
Well, I think the cheerleaders might be ironic cheerleaders that just like to stir.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are not ironic. I can tell by the way they're just scared.
Maybe.
They're scared to get timed out.
I
They're
am. I can't call in if she pulls her shit.
Yeah, she kicked me out of Discord, so I can't call in either. And it's like I thought me and him had a good little time on the call.
Yeah, I have a system now. When I want to call in, I'm usually about to get bounced, and I have to contact Two Master and say, "Can you please bring me back in for 10 minutes so I can call in?" And he helps me out every single time. Thank you, Two Master.
Yeah. So what? She took my wrench, and which I don't really care because I don't even know what the wrench does, and I've never used it to do anything in the first place. So whatever. But she took my wrench, and I'm like, all right. I brought it to their attention. I said some things about Hitler and her being a Nazi and all that stuff today. And she finally had enough when I brought it to her attention that her taking my wrench has, besides today, I did one donation, but I haven't been donating lately. And it's costing him $25 to $75 a day that I'm not donating. And she saw that and she immediately got rid of that because she didn't want him to see it because it might register in his brain that I'm losing 25. That's a lot of Taco Bell.
So cover up the truth. It's the truth.
Confirming what he says when he's had some drinks and that he's being sabotaged, right?
Right.
And it's hard to tell what the goal of the executive producer is. I'll say that.
I'll tell you what the goal of the executive producer is. It's to impose her will on the only people that have to listen to it. Like
I think you're right.
Yeah, like she's got no power in this world. Like she's on her 8th year of community college. Kyle obviously doesn't listen to a fucking thing she says. And she's got her kids, and somewhere in this world she has power. And like sometimes I'll look at the screen and I'll see literally 5 comments and then 10 timeouts. Like they timed out the screen. A bunch of people timed out, right? And to me, this is a drunken free-for-all. I'm usually on my 8th beer by the time I watch this. And we know how Kyle gets, right? So nothing should be off limits. I mean, that's the beauty of the show. The only thing that she should be able to delete is comments about her kids. That's it. Everything else is up for grabs. And then when she called me two-faced and said I was talking shit, like every week, she calls him a deadbeat dad. Says he doesn't see his kids because he plays video games all day, and he doesn't make as much money as he says, and blah, 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 blah. She doesn't even use his money. Like, she talks mad shit. And then us commenting on his obvious inebriation is somehow talking shit. No, we're commenting on what we're seeing and hearing on the show. If Conan O'Brien got shit-faced drunk, millions of people would comment on that, and they wouldn't say they were talking shit. They are talking about what's obviously unique about that show, right? Which is what's unique about this show.
Right.
So, I mean, she's basically talks shit all the time, but we're somehow not supposed to talk shit.
The problem that that's happened for us pulling these clips is a lot of his materials being pulled down. As soon as the show's over, he never wanted to do that. He doesn't care what he did. He always wants his material up. We're recording all this stuff live, so it's not gone for us. But it's almost like we're hosting our own goddamn server, which is supposed to do for YouTube because the executive producer pulls it down every night. It's supposed to be at least on Twitch, but.
Yeah.
Des, if you're listening, we're recording it all. So why don't you just leave it up there? Thank you.
You went from 6 viewers to 3 as soon as I started talking. I bet Des was one of those viewers. She didn't like to hear the truth right there. But I mean, listen, she has become like, you guys are big Howard Stern fans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has become, what's the name of that guy? Pig vomit. She looks like a pig and makes me want to vomit. Like, just like Howard Stern says, right?
WNBC.
Yeah, WNBC. Right.
Who's the cast iron bitch that Howard has overseeing the staff? What's her name again?
Marcy Turk.
Marcy Turk, right. She's the Marcy Turk.
Yeah. I don't know who Marcy Turk is, but I'll take your word for it.
Nah, just somebody Howard brought in to deal with the staff so he never has to deal with another human being on the planet and makes every bad decision.
Well, he puts up with it. So he's complicit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he obviously doesn't care. I don't think he knows or thinks about how much money he loses or how many viewers he loses. Like, yeah, I remember, I mean, I sort of drink every night now, but when I was drinking hard liquor every night, I didn't really care. You know, I just didn't care about anything that much.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. Like, he's been on autopilot for so long. He does the same thing every night. He gets drunk every night. You know, Des pulls the plug. She's in there like a little Nazi, you know, deleting all the fucking comments. And it's ridiculous.
Would you agree that he does like people to call in? When we were trying to study and figure back throughout the years, when he was really like it, he had that fight thing where he would do his fight circles with other people going for hours and hours and hours. But really what he liked to do was to talk to people in voice. And I've tried to call in as much as possible, but it's intimidating to call in. It's hard to know when to call in. It's hard to keep topic. And I think it's getting harder and harder to do that.
I don't think personally, I'm not intimidated. But like when I called in, it was basically, I was curious whether I could keep the show moving and by taking bits and pieces of what he was saying and complete out the sentences to where they made sense. Like I completely talked like I understood everything he said.
Right.
And we kept it moving. And I thought, you know, it was funny.
I think another
go ahead.
Point that you said when you called in, you didn't know when to call in because the stages of the drinking curve, at some point he can't pick you up, he can't respond. And so early on the show, he wants to play all his clips, so you don't know when to call in. I don't know when to call in. And I think you articulated that. Shit, if I wait too long, is he going to be face down? Susie Q, do we have a clip of the hat straight up? Do we have the hat straight up clip?
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, there was a night where he went forehead down, bill of cat straight up. And
because his head was on the his forehead was on the desk.
And that's what we're trying to get through the rise from the ashes. He does like when people call in. I don't know. Maybe it's fight, but just in general, he doesn't like so much as playing this shit and then reading the stream. It's not his favorite thing.
In the evening.
I know. I said, whatever. Did it come here or not? I'm asking you. Did it come? I said no. I said nothing on my phone. How many times are gonna tell you I don't get notifications on my phone? What was? At 10 minutes ago?
How many times I gotta tell you to check your phone when you order food? I already have to go get your delivery today. I'm not a fucking.
Well, I'm done, so.
What's going on there is what takes up most of Act 3 now is them figuring out their fucking Taco Bell food. Every night they've been doing for years is a dilemma. Every single night. And it goes back into communication. Why didn't you do this? Why are you that? Blah, blah, blah. Why can't you walk there? And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. It's not possible to not be able to order food to your house every night and be this confusing. It's just not.
And it's literally Taco Bell every night, isn't it?
No, the other night I think you had McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, those are established multi-billion-dollar restaurants with like the easiest menus ever.
Yeah.
Literally number 1 through 10.
And we have this trend. Go ahead. I'm sorry, BP.
My theory, like, can you complain about how fat your girlfriend is and order Taco Bell and McDonald's every single night? I mean,
well, if it slays the crowd,
aren't you part of the problem? I mean, and can't she cook? I mean, she's a stay-at-home mom, right? And she looks like someone who should be able to cook, and she never does. So
he puts in his favorite, which is chicken, and so that is the story.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. She looks like somebody should be able to cook.
Yeah, she's I don't know. I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon. I mean,
neither of them are.
Yeah,
neither of them are.
Nothing's going to change.
When we first started this, whatever you call this show or program, they used to have some really bad fights. And I would say to Query, I was like, "Is this a bad fight?" And he goes, "I've seen much worse. Much worse. This is just what it is." Sometimes I'd be scared. I was like, Jesus Christ, is the end? But it's just par for the course.
There's clips on YouTube where she comes in and just clocks him right in the head with a monster, a can of monster.
just in general, some of the fights, I think they're always 10 out of 10, but I have to be kind of like held back that it's just the way it is.
Yeah. I really enjoy those fights. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't want her in the chat, but I do want her to come in and insult him because she's got some pretty good lines.
It's sometimes. A fine line. It's impossible to manage. It's really impossible to manage. You know,
they're the they're the modern day honeymooners.
Oh yeah.
Honeymooners is a little. I don't know about honeymooners.
Susie Q, do you have that clip? Do you have that clip of him? I think asking her something about getting vaccinated or something that she doesn't understand because it's late in the night.
No.
She doesn't understand quite a few things. Like one time, I heard that she doesn't like to admit she's wrong, even when she's wrong, right?
Yes, she said that in the chat.
Right. So she was trying to prove to Kyle that those dollar donations were me, right? And no, she was trying to justify the first time she took away my wrench. And he's like, he already donated so much money, blah, 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 blah. She's like, yeah, well, that was nice. And, it's time for some new money. And he's like, you're still wrong. He donated $25 today. And she's like, no, he didn't. What? He didn't donate anything. And she's like, those are dollar donations, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But it was directly under his face, my $25 donation. And she couldn't even admit after she went in the PayPal account. I could hear her go in the PayPal account, and she would find out that I did, and then she shut up about it. But she doesn't ever admit that she's wrong. It's crazy.
No, it's a lot of legalese, and in the end, I'm not sure what they remember the next day. They certainly don't know who they've banned or clocked out, or so it's in a sense Groundhog Day. They have like visions of what might have happened the night before. But
do you
overall,
think Des is as drunk as Kyle? To where she doesn't remember things?
I don't quite think that far. I think he has some system where he can get blackout in an hour and a half and then somehow rally the next day. I don't know. Is he a superhuman? I can't say that. But there are signs. There's signs. I mean, he demolished COVID and got super smell out of it.
Well, that's because nothing else besides him can live in that body. I mean, as much hard alcohol as he drinks and as drunk.
She said that he starts drinking at 7:00, and this is what he sounds like when he comes on.
He almost sounds sober when he comes on. Oh, you got a clip.
You can hear it breathe. At first he goes, ugh, and then
And we asked him, what was that? Kyle, what was it? Zero response, zero acknowledgement. You know, like they fight the night before and then they come back the next day, or
There's no way he can remember half the shit that he does. There's just no way. I've been in that state before, and I remember what I can remember. It's bits and pieces of parts of the night, and they slowly come back to you, that whether you like it or not, the next day. But,
I don't know what to tell you, but I think he does retain some things, because the Stuttering John interview day, I recommended to him, I said, Kyle, why don't you call into Stuttering John or get him on your show? We would love that. Told him some other things. And then the next day, he actually brought up, you know what, I should call into him. So I think some things do sink in, but not particulars. It's hazy what's, retained.
Do you think he believes, because it's possible, like I tune in for all three parts of the show. I want all three parts to happen. I want him to come out, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, or at least, I guess, according to Desiree, he's half drunk when he first comes on. But he doesn't appear drunk, and he's not slurring. So I like that first 45 minutes or so, and he's got some good takes and all that stuff. And then we get to the second part, and we start slurring, and then start screaming Des. I guess the Des screaming is end of the second, beginning of the third.
Yep.
Des.
That's exactly. Death.
Yeah.
DETH. Death.
And I like it. I like all of it. And so I'm not against all of it. But he keeps getting cut off, like tonight. I really feel like he got the cord was yanked on that podcast.
You think tonight?
Yeah, it just went out of nowhere. I mean, he's done it before, but at least he'll scream, stay black or fuck you retard or something on the way out.
Yeah. Kill yourselves.
Why don't you all go kill yourselves? Well, he's been in a little bit better mood. I think that will bring this up after he smashed Stuttering John. He's feeling a little bit better about himself. So I don't know. Do we want to get into that? Where he actually, so the deal is that Eliza Jordana, whoever was a Howard Stern fan, can probably remember. She's a clinger-on, part of this grifter team of Benji Bronk for about 2 years on the Howard Stern show. They were running some, I don't know, he was trying to get her name out there. She moved out to LA and living some grifter life. And she has this Kermit and Friends, had Stuttering John on. And then I talked to Kyle and I asked him, I said, did you set up beforehand that you were going to call in, or did you just call in live? At first, he tells me, no, it wasn't set up. Then he goes, yes, I did contact her before, and it was sort of set up to do it this way. And I thought it was crazy. Stuttering John is out of his fucking mind. He's a paranoid, broken person. Kyle only got in 3 questions. I thought they were great. He was stone sober. And all Kyle had to do was give him a simple question, and he would go off for 5-10 minutes in some stroke speech, flipping out. Do we have any of the questions?
Are you telling me that this is the ramblings of a lunatic?
Behind me, waiting to see the outcome of this lawsuit, and SiriusXM knows that, because they know that this is a rabbit hole they don't want to go down, because there's a lot of people who are waiting to find out. And I'm telling you, I talked to many of them from the Stern Show. I'm not the only one who is incredibly abused by SiriusXM for doing this.
Wait, they said they were abused? What do you mean by abused?
They are not compensating any of us for the
use. Eliza took me out, and me, I went out to have a conversation with Eliza. Look, I get on the one channel, you pay for the live viewers, which is whatever. But it could be real.
Two Master said that Eliza has the title of former writer of Stern Show on her LinkedIn.
Yeah, because that's for 2 years, Benji crowbarred in there and said, Howard, you have to get this girl a writing credit. They were running this goddamn scam. Finally, Howard had enough. She moved out to LA and she's running the scam out there.
That wasn't Andy with. What was the thing with Andy Dick in her? I don't even know.
Another one of her grifts. She's a Jewish girl from New York. She's reinvented herself as Eliza Jordana, a Christian out in LA that is like I don't know, celebrity life. You know, dates Andy Dick here and there. It was all a scam.
Yeah.
No one cared. No one cares. I've seen her live streams. We get 6 on here. She gets what, 9? What's the difference?
Andy Dick was banged his stalker.
Stream was that one, she looked confused most times. Her reactions never matched what was going on. And 2, I thought she did a good job of both taking jabs at Stuttering John and kind of placating him. Because he's crazy. People are right. Whatever he thinks passionate is just plain anger, it's rage.
I will say I was somewhat impressed with what the interview, because I could tell what she was doing. She was stringing him along, pushing and pulling back between his stroke rages. And she would say stuff like, how much money do you make? Can you even make any money off of that? And then he would start getting torqued up and she would go, you know, it's a lot of work. You know, I only do this one day a week, but you do this many times. She was pushing and pulling him. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I don't have a high opinion of her. But John couldn't see what was going on. And he couldn't see until maybe later in that evening when he was smashed or the next day.
Could see what was going on was Kyle.
Just got out of one of them, due to a stipulation.
John.
But I have not spoken to answer the question before Kyle spews his bullshit. I have not spoken to Michael Avenatti since.
John, did you compare yourself to John Lennon?
I compared my trolls that they can have.
I'm about to say you're Puerto Rican. You won't get shot. You'll die in a knife fight, but you're coming off.
Have the same kind of lunatic as Mark David Chapman.
He absolutely compared himself to John Lennon and the pressures.
What a lunatic.
Yeah, the pressures of assassination attempts, because he got hitched up with some, I don't know, fragile person. They had some back and forth where she was giving him $2,000. He decided it was his money. Another one of his drunken stories that go on and on and on, nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing, John. I don't know. My thing about John is he doesn't get his appeal. Like, nobody wants to hear his political opinion. Just like Kyle said. They want to hear you get riled up. They want to hear stern stories. They want to hear you address your trolls. They want confrontational. Yeah.
I think people want to see him get drunk and stroke out. Let's admit it. And he does it.
I mean, let's look at Stuttering John when he was on the Stern Show. It was him being riled up probably 80% of the time. And Howard pulling his strings. That's why that Elisa Jordana show where Elisa was doing the same thing that Howard was doing back in the 90s to him was great.
The push and pull.
This is the same thing.
I was actually kind of impressed by her.
Yeah, she did a good job with that.
By the way, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beefy. No, go ahead.
No, I had nothing to do with what you were talking about. I'm reading the comments and they're like, is this guy in a hotel room doing a live stream? Yeah, I'm in a hotel room. This is not my bedroom. This is not what this looks like. I'm in Boise, Idaho on business. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You're doing the motel stream the Uniques will not do. Okay.
And Stuttering John, this isn't unique to Kyle. He's a very paranoid person. He's a non-functional alcoholic. So he thinks the whole world's out to get him. It might be because look who he is, but he has these constant conspiracy theories about intricate things about how everybody's out to deny him and get him in the lawsuits. No one fucking cares, John.
He's always the victim, and I'm glad you said that because we actually have a clip of him being the victim.
I invite people to come to the pub I hang out with. I'm not scared because I know how to handle myself. but that doesn't stop someone from showing
you're
up.
60 and had 12 strokes. What you're threatening. Younger Stuttering John was a nigga who would fight a nigga. You've had 8 strokes. You're not fighting anybody. You're not a tough guy.
Up with a gun and then trying to kill you, and who knows? I've had, just so you know, Elisa, I've had a guy
You have roaches, AIDS.
my pub threatened to kill me. A big dude came and whispered in my ear, "I'm gonna kill you." So to think that it couldn't happen, it could. People are killed all the time.
Oh, there you go. Good logic.
It couldn't happen. It could.
My favorite was Stuttering John going, "I've had," and Kyle goes, "You've had roaches. You've had,
You've had the gas turned off. You've had letters from the state of California saying, "Why don't you pay your fucking child support
arrears?"
Yeah.
By the way, that's pretty damn impressive that they found out about his gas bill. That's incredible.
Yeah. His excuse is as soon as it came in, I paid it. They don't turn it off for like 3 months or something.
That's
Anyway.
true.
Who Are All These Podcasts has a great rivalry with Stuttering John. So if you want to go listen, they just nail him. John's an easy target, and I think it's what it took to get Kyle back on his feet, because I think he's been a little bit more enthusiastic since that happened. And I'd like to get him to call into Mersh, call into Stuttering John, play NFL games. Stop with this 3 acts of this goddamn Sam Tripoli and Cumia shit. Something else.
And his obsession with Joe Budden too. But you know what? I think I figured that out. I was looking because I was trying to put together whether he was really putting together 1 million streams a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's counting Twitch or whatever, but most of his videos get somewhere between 1,500 to 3,500, and then he'll kick it. He'll get a good one that's 10.5, but Joe Budden's are always 6,000 or 7,000.
Exactly. We did kind of an audit of what, because we couldn't believe the Joe Budden. I think it was 3 shows ago, and I started looking at the clicks he gets for this Joe Budden, and I see it. I see what's going on. Now, when we watch the stream at night, we don't know what's going on. He doesn't set it up. He doesn't explain it, but he gets tens of thousands, or used to, on the Joe Budden stuff.
Right. He gets 3 to 400% more clicks on the Joe Budden stuff. So now I've figured out why he's even covering this guy. That's the reason. I mean, makes sense. I mean,
I have no idea what they're talking about during the streams either.
None. I never have any idea. And he doesn't set it up. He doesn't stop and comment and go, "Well, that's some take he took." He just plays the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
The whole point. Yep.
And I'm somebody who I know who Joe Budden is. I'm into that. I'm into that. I know who Joe Budden is. I know I know who he is, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah.
Do we have any more?
No, that was our last.
That we don't have more John clips.
I'm lying. Kyle had a hot take on Cumtown.
Oh yeah, I've asked him many times about Cumtown.
Mm-hmm. And so here we go, gentlemen.
Okay, Nick from Cumtown. By the way, Jason Klein, I love that Cumtown is now doing copyright takedowns. Forever, Cumtown was just blast our shit on YouTube. And there was one specific one who took huge advantage of that. It was making a shitload of money. But then their subscribers on Patreon dropped to less than 100,000. And now Cumtown is doing copyright takedowns on their shit on YouTube to get their numbers back above 100,000. So, that's fucking hilarious.
I am so trying to get him to move off of Callan and Tripoli and something like Cumtown. He subscribes to it or whatever. Every time I bring it up, he goes back to Nick Mullins and John Bolton. And it's always in Act 3, and I can't get him off it. He always wants to cue it up and play it. But come down, some other things I wish he would just explore. We don't have to watch the same 3 things every night.
Yeah, even that AIU thing is sort of wearing me out.
Yeah, I'm tired of the race wars. I don't want a race war. It's enough the AIU.
Yeah, I don't really
By
know.
the way, AIU is yeah. Go ahead.
No,
He said, yeah, go ahead, Beefy.
I want him to get in a real beef. Like, no one's willing to play with him, except for Stuttering John did a little bit. But I want a full-out war between him. Merce was a good candidate, but I mean, I want them to go back and forth every single day.
Yeah, we don't promote fight channels, but I would love for him to call an Immerse and then just talk like fucking adults and go, hey, talk to you for a while. What are you up to? I don't know, a different approach, because the fight stuff goes nowhere. But why are they so scared just to call each other and talk? It's like they're scared of each other. They don't know what to do, and if they're not fighting with each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's all more views. I mean, honestly, like, you probably aren't going to get this reference, but you know who Tekashi 69 was, right? No one knew who he was until he started battling with this Trippie Redd character, right? These are 2 rappers, and they weren't even on the map until they started insulting each other every single day. And I mean, if you look at Howard Stern, every show Howard Stern did was him pitting 2 people from the production crew against each other and have them scream at each other pretty much every day. And then we would weigh in who was right and who was wrong. I mean, I think that's what he should do.
Wouldn't it be fun, a new angle, people that always fight, say him and Mercer, him and who are these podcasts, to actually just come on and like make peace, like him and these who are these podcasts, and just start talking? I think that would be fantastic. I like both of them. Why can't they? No. You want to see them go?
I don't want to see them make up.
All right.
Like, talk like adults? Listen.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't watch Kyle's show because he talks like adult. He doesn't. He rarely talks like an adult at all, and I like his immaturity and his drunkenness and his debauchery. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to see. Yeah,
understood. I'm trying to figure out where we go from here. You know, with a new schedule change, and I'm worried about the stamina and endurance for the long term for Unique. How long can this go on for?
Forever. I mean, he's been doing it forever.
Yeah, but we've seen a curve in like the drop in stamina and the possibility of this going forward. It's not like it was a couple of years ago.
He'd go on for what, 3 hours or something, you guys?
I think we tried to research that, but when he was drinking the energy drinks and staying up, it was 3 hours. I see some of these guys go for 12 hours.
That's insane. Like Red Bar, what Red Bar does?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't even want to watch for 6 hours. I don't think he should do that. I think 2 hours is enough. But, I mean, he's barely making it 2 hours, and the last 45 minutes are pretty much – you don't really know exactly what he's saying.
Nope.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have fun in the chat when she's not timing us out. I mean, of course, if someone's is incoherent, you can't understand a word he's saying, we're going to make fun of you. Just like, you know, of course we're going to do that. And she should just let it go. And as far as the future of this thing is, it's not going to change. I think it's just going to keep going the way it is. I mean, as it gets older, maybe the show will get shorter.
We've danced the line as sort of a wrap up and fan show of what we can say, what we can talk about, but at this point, we're going to, you know, just kind of explain that Act 3 gets rough and we don't know where to go and play more clips. And I hate to say it, but that's what a lot of people like. If they're not going to adapt, then we're going to play Act 3.
Yeah.
Beefy, CB's asking, what's up with the Budweiser cans? Beef.
That's what I drink every night. So I'm on Budweiser can number 8, and those are the tall boys. I don't understand how he can get drunk so fast. It seems like it comes out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and that's why people were accusing him of taking Xanax or whatever. I mean, it would make sense to me.
Everyone says it's benzos.
I mean, it comes on so fast out of
And
nowhere.
she says it's not. So
I mean, of course she has to say that. I mean, I'd like to think it's not. But I mean, I sort of do wish it was Xanax because that's an easy fix. Just quit taking Xanax until you're off the show.
Yeah, I don't think it's any of that. I think it's pretty much direct, straightforward. What we see is what's happening. He hasn't taken a break off in about 2 years. Imagine doing that every night.
Kyle one day threw out the idea of starting a podcast about politics, which he won't talk about right now, which is weird.
It's. I've asked him because 2020 was a lot of politics if he's going to be back in that, and no answer.
I think he literally is looking at what gets the most views on his channel, and that's what we get. And he's probably delved into politics before and got hardly any views. So that's probably why he doesn't talk about it. Like he talks about Joe Budden. Everybody in the comments hates it, but I mean, it's getting him the most views. So that's what we're going to talk about. Whatever gets him the most
that's
views.
the daily react video. At night, he claims he does what the stream watchers want to watch, but I'm not sure how many people want to watch these three same things. A lot of people like AIU or whatever, but I just feel that there's so much stuff out there. We could watch some other stuff. I'm going to try this fall to get him to do more like events, like football games, especially Bucks games, Tom Brady, all that shit. He loves that. Just change it up a little bit. He likes calls, but it's getting harder as we're all getting timed out.
There's definitely a different demographic that watches the stream from the one that watches the videos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if,
I think it's way
pivoting into sports would be a good idea because I'm not sure everybody loves. I love sports, but I'm not so sure that's really where his audience.
But really, the fun is Kyle's reactions. He gets very hyped. Back in the day when he would get hyped, he would hop up and down in his chair, hop up and down, hop and down. He would get so excited. I haven't seen that in so long. The Bucks and Brady will get that out of him if he can stay up. I mean, this is a problem. We can't start, football games at 6 in the afternoon on the East Coast.
Right. You know what would be fun? Just once a week.
Karaoke.
No. I think I've heard him sing before.
Yeah. Hilarious.
But him because you can video record your video game, and for him to take us through once a week about all those W's because he's constantly stacking W's when he's not, wasting his time talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see, his
exponential
narration of, and him coming around corners, and I see this nigga coming in.
I've tried to watch BT. I've tried to watch. It's not what you would hope for. He doesn't talk. He doesn't narrate. I don't know. It goes on. They're almost silent videos.
Oh.
Yeah, he plays that Call of Duty, and there's not a lot of interaction, not a lot of shit.
He doesn't talk shit. That's hard to believe.
I haven't watched hours and hours, but when it just doesn't seem like many people are talking.
My favorite is when you capture when he thinks he's turned off the Twitch and it keeps running.
He will argue with his executive producer that it's like, and she will have to go, no, see right there in that window where it says end stream, that means you haven't done it.
I like them talking and them not know, or Kyle not know that we're hearing him, so I could hear the real conversation between those two, because I'm sure it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're really cute when they're together and stuff. Like the other night, he was copying a feel and stuff, and some technical difficulties night, and he was copying a feel while technical difficulties was letting him have it, and they were just having a good time. And then it's sad when it goes to shit.
Well, it's volatile to say the least, and I think that's why we all tune in. We have to admit it. You're not going to get the same thing. Sometimes, it's like watching Guns N' Roses or something. Sometimes you're going to get a banger. Sometimes it's going to go flat, but that makes the banger so much better.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Beefy, for coming on.
Thank you so much, Beefy. Come sit in anytime you'd like.
Guys in the chat, of course. Thank you.
This was
all right.
great.
Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I think we came back
Until
from our
next
week
time,
vacation,
everybody.
and that was fantastic. And we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll have more clips and more stuff for you. Thanks a lot.
Good night, everybody.